maybe. Well, I'm sure it is. Okay.
Welcome to the DIVALUTION, a show to empower, enlighten, and entertain divas and those that love us.
Yep, I did that. I cut that off like that. Bad, bad, bad. So anyway, welcome to the DIVALUTION show. Yay! It's Tuesday night, my favorite night of the week. And I hope that everybody's doing great. It's already the second Tuesday in August. Isn't that bizarre? Second Tuesday in August. And the summer has just flown by. But before we start the show and I introduce you to these lovely people that are in the studio tonight, we want to wish a happy birthday to Melissa Morse, who's turning 40 today. Ooh, let's all yell it together. Happy birthday! Yay, we love you, Melissa.
Having 40.
Yep. Oh, to be 40. Those were good years.
On by.
Yes. So in the studio with me today are I must admit, these are two of my favorite people. And I don't get to see either one of you very often, but when I do, it's always, I grin from ear to ear the whole time that we're together. So thank you for being here. The lovely Miss Beth Bryce is in the house.
Thank you.
And you are such a welcome guest when you come on the show. We always just have a fabulous time. And
I'm thrilled to be
so
here.
thank you for being here. And
Such a super
our
woman.
own Misty Michelle, who hasn't been around
Return,
for a
I know.
long
It's like-
time.
I feel like the prodigal son.
Really, it's amazing, and lots of things going on in your life, and
Absolutely.
you know, one of the things I'm really grateful for is Facebook, because I know what both of you are
Keep
doing all the
track of
time, and I don't
everybody, right?
miss you so much.
Yeah.
You know,
Pretty much. You know the good stuff.
Yeah, and that's really all that
Highlights.
matters. If it's bad stuff and you need to talk, you know you can
You know,
call
right.
me.
Yeah, we know.
We
who to
don't
call.
post that kind of stuff on Facebook.
No.
Only the good stuff. So, Beth, why don't you tell us a little bit about you and what we're going to talk about tonight?
Sure. Wow, it's been a fantastic year. I'm in year 2 of my Daring Circle Ranch retreats. I host retreats in Santa Fe for women, and we had one in May. I've already booked 2 for next year, and they're generally titled Journey to Your Awakening. You know, the food, the culture, the art in Santa Fe is just amazing. But it's really, even though Loretto is a top-rated spa in the country, that's where we stay in at Loretto, it's really not a spa vacation. Generally, when you're journeying to your awakening on a spiritual journey, it's a little tough.
Yeah.
You're down on your knees, right, getting cracked wide open. So really, really good work. And we work with horses as well. We bring those into the mix.
I love that.
Oh, it's just amazing. And I'll be expanding and bringing writing retreats. So for you would-be writers out there, you know, to come to Santa Fe and spend some time writing and working with horses at the same time.
Wonderful.
It's going to be amazing. Yeah.
That sounds wonderful.
Lots of fun. So that's DaringCircleRanch.com. And I just can't believe we tripped across each other the last couple of weeks. We
How
attended.
fun was that?
It was
Yeah.
amazing. We attended. I call it Dream Class, Terry Duperron's The Class, but it's really
He just calls it the class.
He just calls it the class, right? Terry Duperron, the CEO, the president, original president of the Duperron Corporation, amazing, wise sage of a man. We spent 4 days, 4 afternoons together, you and I,
Yes.
and they didn't even have to separate us.
No. But the good thing we didn't sit next to each other, though.
Yeah, there was one person in between
Yes,
us, I think.
that poor woman. But it was
A whole different
wonderful.
kind of education, I'm sure.
Yes, and it's always fun because I love taking classes like that. And when I walked in, you never know what to expect, which is the best part, I think. And you never know what you're going to take home from it.
Right.
But you know it's going to be something good, always something good. And every woman there was, funny, it was all women. He said he had never had an all-female class before.
Oh,
Really?
And there were, 9 of us, I
there were
think?
10.
10.
So the female energy in the room.
And he made us really think. It was everything that I hoped it would be and more.
Fantastic.
It
And what
was
was
very
the
good.
focus? Focus on his
Your dream,
dreams and
yes.
make those a reality.
And yes, and one of the big things that he talked about was dreams versus goals. And I believe his definition of dream was something that isn't in existence yet, right? Right?
Yep.
So what else did he say about that?
The dreams versus the goals.
Yeah.
Right. So a dream is like a blank sheet of paper. You really have no clue, absolutely no idea how you're going to get there. It's like so big, it could be so overwhelming. You just and a goal, you pretty much know how to orchestrate it. You know, I need to do this step and this step and this step and this step, and then I will complete my goal, right? So it's a dream if you have like no clue how you're going to manifest, you know, your heart's desire, basically.
And yet he never used the word manifest.
No, he did not.
He's a philosopher. He's an everyman philosopher.
Yeah, down to earth, very down to earth. Yeah.
Really interesting. One of the things he said was, and this really got me, because this is pretty much the definition of manifestation. Just take the step and give up the way it should look.
Right. Give up the step. Or don't take 2 steps, just take 1, right? And don't be attached to the outcome.
That's the other thing.
That's the
Don't be
thing.
emotionally attached to the outcome.
Okay, that creates a real problem for us control freaks.
It does. It does.
It does.
And that's another thing that differentiates the goal from the dream, because with the goal you have an emotional tie to it, and with the dream you're not supposed to have.
Right. With a goal, you are pushing, right? You're
Right.
driving, you're
Right.
pushing, you're pulling. You're like, I'm going to accomplish this. This is it. And his philosophy on a dream is don't even have it all planned out, because once you have it all planned out, you aren't able to see the other possibilities.
Right.
Because you're
Yeah,
so
okay.
in a box. So he said
I
that.
agree with that.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah, and that's one of the biggest takeaways that I got, actually,
Yes.
because I am such a control freak.
And-
And yes, my name is Beth, and I'm a control freak. I readily
And
admit
my name
that.
is Deb, and I am too. But and when I learned that lesson just not long ago, and I know you'll remember this, we were doing the DIVALUTION show, and I wanted to get W4 Divas started so much, and I was working on it, and Josh kept saying to me, focus on the show, and let
Right.
go of the station. And as soon as I did that, and I would see that little next step to take, and I would almost picture it. And I would take that little next step, and then something else would come,
Right.
and boom, all of a sudden, there we were.
It started to happen. And when it happened, it just went on a roll. It was.
And I stopped doing that.
Yeah.
I started doing goals again.
Right.
Well, I have to do this and this and this, and I would write it in my planner, and that reminded me that, and I
Lists.
needed it right then, because
Right.
I'm changing things,
Right.
and I'm changing, and his class just was exactly
Yeah.
what I needed.
Me too.
Exactly.
Me too. It's when he said, and he's just so down to earth, he said, I get up every morning and I look out into the woods with new eyes and I wonder what's waiting for me today, right? So can you imagine, like, getting up? It's like that movie with, what is that movie where he keeps Groundhog Day?
Yes.
Groundhog
Yes.
Day. Every day, it's like you get up and you don't know what the day's going to unfold, but, so same kind of thing. There aren't groundhogs in Terry's dream, though, but anyways.
We don't know that, though. There might be some.
Maybe we can share that with you.
But to get up every morning and to have a blank slate, have no expectations, and look at everybody and everything with fresh eyes, right?
Right.
So many, you called them Terryisms, and we were talking before we came on air, but he says things, very profound things that are universal truths, things that Gandhi said, things that Wayne Dyer said. But he says them in such a down-to-earth, and we know that he didn't read them now, don't we?
Right, which is just one of the things that is just so inspiring about the man who, didn't graduate from high school, has had terrible dyslexia, still can't write today?
Yes.
Or read, yeah.
Can't write.
Can't write today.
He can read a little bit, but I don't,
But went back to school and got his GED at 41.
Just to prove to his daughter that he could.
Yeah, but he always knew he wanted to be an inventor from the 3rd grade, and he invented all these amazing, had these wastewater patents.
Yeah. And he got his first patent when he was it 21 or 20?
Something like that.
Yeah.
I mean,
we're sitting there going, wow. Here's a man that couldn't read.
Right.
But he figures things out. He thinks.
Yeah. Amazing. Just really incredible to have a company, multi-million-dollar company in our region, in the Great Lakes Bay region, that's experiencing 25% growth year over year. And And
his daughter is like in charge of I would say accounting. Wouldn't you say that she's...
No, she's the president.
She's the president.
Tammy,
see, isn't that something?
The acting president. Yeah, she's
so he raised his children according to their strengths, not what he wanted them to be, which is very good. He had custody of 5 children when he got divorced. Very interesting guy. Wow. So one of the other things that I loved that he said was, don't put conditions on those we love. It causes resentment. And remember the story about when his new bride was walking down the aisle, and he was really scared. He said his knees were shaking. This was so profound. He said, I promise, he said this in his head, that I will never criticize her.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there going, oh, my God, this guy's a genius.
Right.
And I will never criticize her. I will never demean her.
Yeah.
And I will always let her be herself. And they've been married 37 years now.
Yeah. He said, stop being critical. What's the value in criticizing others? Focus on their strengths. Really see who they are as a person. And he says that he absolutely does not criticize anyone. He has not for years and years.
Isn't that beautiful?
To be in a space of non-judgment. Like, really, why? What a waste of time and energy.
It is.
Focus on yourself.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah, that was great.
Yeah. Everything, it just was amazing. Some of this. And then some of the things he said were just kind of fun, but almost everything that came out of that man's mouth was philosophical. Pick another one for us to talk about. Oh,
yeah. So we already talked about not working the plan, which was big for me. I think I had like 3 really big takeaways. The second one that was really huge for me was, I think he said this the first afternoon, and I was hooked from that point. He said, anytime I'm in the business of trying to not lose, I lose. And anytime I try to survive, I die. Right? And I'm just like, wow, that is just so true. Scarcity versus abundant mindset. So
and
when you're in a scarcity mindset, you're scared, you're nervous, you're anxious, you're pushing, you're trying to make things happen, and you're just not being productive, right? So and you actually, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy in my mind.
Yeah, it is, because you're putting out in the universe, that's where you're comfortable.
Yeah, you're worrying about things.
That's what you're
manifesting, right?
Exactly. And yet he never used that word.
Right. And so, and then he followed it with this, which as a career coach, I'm also a career director at Northwood University. So he said, I never want to be the one that limits me. And that is so true, because I can't tell you how many times throughout a day I'm having a conversation with somebody and they will say, well, I don't think I should apply for that. I don't think I'm qualified, or I don't think, it's just, I love that job, but I don't think I'll be able to do it. They're not going to pick me for an interview. And I'm looking at people and I'm saying, wow, why don't you apply and give them the chance to turn you down? Why